Lieberman has been now emerged as a top candidate for FBI director. Would you be receptive to that nomination?
I think it's a mistake to nominate anyone who's ever run for office.
I think the question is whether you want someone here with a political pedigree or you want somebody that has a law enforcement pedigree. And I think there's a lot of people on both sides of the aisle that are looking for someone that doesn't come from the political realm.
I think, and I feel this very strongly, that the best appointee would be somebody that comes up in the FBI.
All right, that's all reaction to Joe Lieberman, his name being bounced around out there as a possible FBI director. Democrats largely opposed to it. Senator Bernie Sanders among the latest to say not a good idea. Emily Jashinsky joining us, Gabby Marangelo, and Robin Viro. Robin, where is this going, and why such a universal view that Joe isn't the guy?
You know, Neil, there's lots of reasons I asked around. The number one reason that I got was that he's just not qualified for the position. But I've got to get something out there. A close friend of mine within the White House told me that Donald Trump just really doesn't like Comey, and especially he's intimidated by his height. He's 6'8". Joe Lieberman is 5'9", nearly a foot shorter.
Oh, okay.
So
you know, it's a height issue. All right. Well, Gabby, what I'm looking at is this fear here that if someone like a Lieberman is going to do would be at first initially readily acceptable to Democrats and Republicans, and that's no longer the case. It fuels an argument that many have had on the other side, the Democrats who say that even someone like FBI director, former FBI Director Mueller in that role as a counsel looking into this isn't going to be good enough. I think Nancy Pelosi was the latest to say we need that independent commission. We need, the investigators are going to be tripping over themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like Democrats aren't going to be satisfied no matter who President Trump puts forward for this position, but they especially view Joe Lieberman almost as a pariah of the Democratic Party. It seems as though many members, hold a grudge for him going back to the days when he backed John McCain for president in 2008, and as a former staunch supporter of the Iraq War during the Bush era, it really put him at odds with a lot of members of his party who might have more political motives for opposing him for this position than valid concerns about whether or not he's qualified. I think that there are a number of questions, primarily about his age, especially going into what's traditionally been a 10-year term as FBI director, about whether he is qualified in terms of having experience in law enforcement, but those aren't the concerns that we're hearing among Democrats right now. It's that he holds extremist views, as Bernie Sanders just put out in a statement moments ago, and that they simply don't think that he's the right fit for this position.
When they say extremist views, it's generally code for not their views. But Emily, what I'm wondering about now is all of this, coming to light on the same day we get this latest New York Times report about the comments that the president was making about Comey, that he's a real nut job, etc. Someone's leaking a lot of stuff to a lot of folks, a lot of the time, and I'm wondering whether it really makes a difference who's running the FBI if this stuff is leaking like a sieve, whether it's accurate or not.
Yeah, the leaks are obviously out of control, and that has serious implications for the remainder of this presidency. I agree with Gabby, and I want to take her thing one step further. I think the Democrats' opposition right here is hinging on two factors. One, they are sort of bitter towards Lieberman, and two, what did we learn from the confirmation of Neil Gorsuch? No matter how reasonable someone the Republicans put forward is, Democrats are terrified that any compromise will come back to bite them. Any compromise with Trump they think is going to impact them negatively in the future. I don't know if there's anybody that the Trump administration could put forward that the Democrats aren't going to hammer. Of course, Republicans can probably get them confirmed, but the question is whether that's going to make any further investigations look tainted. So I do think the critique that the Democrats are saying that someone maybe who isn't political, I think that's reasonable, but I don't think it's sincere.
And by the way, no matter what the result of the investigation, whatever that would be, and I had someone estimate that it would take up to 18 months for that investigation to be done, slap dab in the middle of the midterm elections. But, what I have to wonder, Robin, is that the result of this will be someone's not going to be satisfied with that. And Mueller, as much as he's praised, if he comes out with nothing, a lot of people out of those same Democrats are going to be furious. If he does come up with enough to connect Donald Trump to obstruction of justice or whatever it is that will be his target, Republicans will say he went too far. So this seems to be like Comey all over again.
You know, I see your point, Neil. I want to say that my friends who are Trump loyalists, though, were praying that this was fake news, so they're not particularly thrilled with this either. But what I want to point out is that Joe Lieberman's firm represents Donald Trump and his family, so there's a clear conflict of interest here. That's what my friends are most concerned with. That's what I'm most concerned with. Also, like I said, he's not qualified. I'm a veteran U.S. Army Ranger. I wouldn't feel qualified with a politician leading me into battle. I'm sure that the agents of the FBI want somebody with the law experience to lead that agency. Not a career politician. And like I said, say that again?
I'm just saying he was an attorney general.
For the state of Connecticut.
From 1983 to 1989, that was a long time ago.
I'm telling you guys, on the left to the right, we could have Pope Francis pursuing this, and someone would complain. But I want to thank you all. Have a safe weekend. Appreciate it. Meanwhile, President Trump is